Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. This is a very, very, very serious and touchy subject. I want to say up front, I shouldn't have to, but unfortunately, it's the way things are. I am not against lawful immigration. My father's parents are what they call off-the-boat Italians. I have zero issue with legal, regulated immigration. Period. Vetted, of course, people. I have no problem. The 20th century saw millions coming from all over the world in the United States, mostly Europeans. Made this country what it is, have zero problem with it. But what they're doing now, the Democrats and the progressives, are taking this, we'll say, openness and kindness and generosity of the American country, of the American people, and twisting it to their own political gain. Let's just briefly, very rarely would I do anything with Axios, but this time I'm going to. Let's take a look. Government eyes plan to give IDs to unauthorized immigrants. They don't say illegal anymore, they say unauthorized. Okay. And it shows a gentleman there, looks like with his kid, getting his picture taken by an ICE officer. The Biden administration plans to test providing temporary ID cards for unauthorized immigrants awaiting a final decision on their cases, according to two government sources familiar with the planning. Recent border crossings and other unauthorized, I do have to say, though, honestly, progressives and Democrats are very good at labeling things word-wise. Unauthorized immigrants in the U.S. often do not have IDs, making it more difficult to access housing, health care, transportation, and other benefits. Now, supposedly the story goes, these are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that are awaiting their court cases, either granted asylum to come to the United States or be deported when they can't prove they have the criteria met for asylum. I want to say up front, right now, according to U.S. law, economic hardship in the country of origin is not sufficient reason for asylum. And 99% of these people are doing that because of economic hardship. My heart goes out to them in the countries where they're from. Coming here is their only hope. I see their dilemma. I really do. But we can't have that many coming in under false pretenses. Officials are considering a pilot program to relieve some of those burdens while also incentivizing more frequent communication with law enforcement. In other words, we're going to keep track of them through these cards, but they're going to get benefits. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a dick. I'm really not. We can barely afford what we have for our own people. And you can read the rest of it. I'll breeze through this, and you can stop the video. I don't want to read it all. Like I said, I'll just go through it a little bit here because that's not. It's not good. The big picture, yet it's another sign of the administration's attempt to revamp ICE, the agency charged with arresting, detaining, and deporting unauthorized immigrants. Under Biden, the agency has already ended family detention, attempting to focus arrests on immigrants with criminal records. No, they haven't. And dramatically expanded alternative to detention programs. Well, there's the only one alternative. You cut them loose. But they use apps and devices to trace unauthorized immigrants as opposed to locking them up. All right, they give them ID. Here's your court date. The vast majority, my understanding, over 80% do not show up. Why are the Democrats doing this? Why? It's the number one question. It would not be the first time the administration used mobile apps to deal with the backlog immigration system. Last year, border officials began using an app to process asylum seekers at the border. And they use American lawyers for free from these NGOs to train and show these unauthorized immigrants, as they call them, how to lie, for asylum and what to fill out on their applications to get it. We can't open our borders to the entire world. No country can. Do some research on what Sweden is like now, to give you an idea of the huge cultural shock that happens when too many migrate at once. From Fox News, illegal immigrant getaways. Notice how Fox uses illegal instead of unauthorized, which they are. They're just calling them what they are. Across the U.S. border number more than 500,000. Average of over 55,000 known getaways per month in fiscal year 2022. Yeah, that's a big deal. The U.S. border has more than 500,000 known getaways sneak across into the U.S. since fiscal year 2022 began October 1. That is the fiscal year for the feds. Multiple senior Department of Homeland Security sources told Fox News of the rising known number of getaways, illegal immigrants who were spotted crossing the border. How are they crossing the border if there's a border wall? Oh, wait a minute. They did everything in their power to stop President Trump from building the border wall. That number has already eclipsed the 389,000 plus known getaways. DHS Secretary Mayorkas previously testified that we're in all of fiscal year 21. It's not even that months left in the year, and we've already eclipsed last year. And there's a very ironic picture of a border wall with a big section missing. There are approximately 900,000 known getaways. It's got to be bigger than that since the beginning of fiscal year 21. Per the sources, which is the equivalent to a population bigger than the city of San Francisco sneaking across the border without being apprehended. To give you an idea, the surging numbers of the border come after the Biden administration has really claimed the border is closed, secure, and under operational control. There's Mayorkas. I'm not going to really say, because this is YouTube and I can't, what I think of this Homeland Security Secretary. Mayorkas sat there with then, I think it was Vice President Biden many years ago, when Biden said we want a nonstop flow of immigrants into the United States to displace the citizens that are here now. And we want to repeatedly be done over year after year after year. And Biden sat there and smiled, and Mayorkas was sitting next to him when he wasn't DHS secretary, smiling his ass off. What is their plan? This hurts low-income people, period. What do you think these unauthorized, what do you want to call illegal migrants, they've got to work somewhere. Welfare benefits only go so far, and they'll find work under the table under horrendous conditions, and American citizens will lose their jobs and their livelihood. Hundreds of thousands crossing every month is not the definition of secure, one agent told Fox News. They are liars, and everybody who believes them are fools. Yeah, but you have to ask yourself, what people do is why. I don't think they're doing it for the votes, frankly. I think they're doing it at the behest of big business. The Democrat Party, the progressives, are now the party of big business and international corporations. You talk about the big switch, that's the big switch. In the old days, the Republicans had that label, and the Democrats prefer individual people. Today, it's the polar opposite. And that all started, by the way, just as Obama started to be president. It was already going on. I'll leave this picture here because I think it's kind of ironic where the gap in the wall is where people are walking through. They're doing what they think is best for them and their families. That's not counting the human trafficking, the tons of fentanyl that are killing hundreds of thousands of U.S. citizens. That's not counting all the things when it comes to minors that I can't even talk about because this is YouTube and it'll be banned. The horrific human suffering that's been caused by this, all about control and power from the Democrats and the progressives. I might as well just say the progressives because they are the Democrats now. This is disgusting. And it's a human cost that's just unbelievable to even measure. But yet, here they are. Here they are. Let's go back to the main headline. 500,000. That's just ones that got away. That's not counting the hundreds of thousands they've caught and giving these new IDs and dates to appear before court for asylum. They're overflowing our country by choice. Why are the Democrats doing this? Is it something as simple as, since we can't have power and control of this country, we're going to burn it to the ground philosophically? Are we going to destroy the country since we can't have it and nobody can? Or is there something that's underlying that's even more evil and sinister? I think so. I think so. The average American is getting screwed over, especially low-income Americans. Take note, legal Hispanics here in the country, African Americans, Asians, all of you that are working lower wage jobs, they are after you. Stop voting for Democrats. I beg you, for the country's sake and your own as well. Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.